Hey y'all, yes, I have a bonnet on. I just got up, but I have to share it. I have to share stuff when it's on my heart. A lot of y'all are working jobs that y'all absolutely hate. And I'm just going to share my experience with little things that I did so I don't have to work like your traditional, like 9 to 5 if you don't want to. There's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. It's just that if you're that type of person that's like, I want to start my own business. I ain't trying to be stuck somewhere working with people I don't want to work with. I don't want to ask when I can eat, when I can take off, when I can take a vacation, when I can, my child is sick, can I go pick them up? I don't want to ask for permission for those things. So I'm gonna go through what I've done. And this is just something that just popped in my mind because I feel like when something pops in my mind, I feel like God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is telling me share it, share it, share it. So the things I've done. Now, this may not be for everybody. This is just my experience. So, if take it if it works for you. If it doesn't, cool. Okay. So, first thing I did, the first job that I had that wasn't like a job was I was in school for nursing. I ended up becoming a CNA, and I learned about home health. So for my girls that like to help people, patients, if you're older and you're like, I don't want to go to school to be a nurse, CNA. Don't get me wrong, if you're working in the nursing homes, it's stressful. Hospital can be stressful depending on where you work at. So my first job was home health. I was called what you would call a provider. This is a long time ago. It's like 2009. I was a provider. So you basically make your own schedule. It's perfect if you got kids and you have responsibilities. So they will find a client for you, and they'll say, hey, this client, we have to give her 10 hours a week. You're just going to come in, wash dishes, make sure you don't have to do baths if you don't, if you don't want to go underneath that. Some of the patients, they can bathe themselves, they can use the bathroom. They just need a little help around the house, maybe fix them some eggs and bacon, a little sweep and mop because their back is bad, something like that. So they'll give you a patient and they'll be like, yeah, 10 hours a week. So what can you do? Like what days do you want to work? What hours are suitable for you? That's making your own schedule. So you can be like, oh, okay, 10 hours a week. I can do 2.5 hours every day. I can do 8 to 10:30 every day, Monday through Friday. Or you could be like, oh, I could come in Monday and do 5 hours, Wednesday and do 5 hours, and that's it. And let's say you're a go-getter, okay? If you're a go-getter, okay, I got this client for 10 hours. Do y'all have another one for 10? Do you have another one for 10? This is just what I was doing. This is what I was doing. Because I was able to make my own schedule, so it wasn't as stressful as going to a job that's like, hey, bam, you working 12 hours. If I chose to work 12 hours, because I chose it, I'm not mad about it. And guess what? When you don't want to do it again, or if there's a client that you don't like that's just getting on your nerves, you go to the people and say, it's not a good fit for me. Can you find me somebody else? And they will take you out that home. That's a good job. That's a good job. And I don't know how much they make now. At the time when I was working, this is a long time ago. I haven't done provider work since 2014. But when I was there, I was making $9 an hour. I'm pretty sure it's way more than that now. It have to be more than that now. I don't think it's $9 an hour. It might be like 12, 15. Plus, you get your mileage and stuff like that. So that's one side of home health. That's one side. There's another side of home health if you are a CNA. Now let me say this, because some people you don't want to become a CNA. You don't have to become a CNA to be a provider. Know that. If you are just a regular person, my mom, she had retired, but she always was helping older people, and she was like, I kind of want to do what you was doing. And I was like, well, you don't need no CNA certificate, baby. You can just go ahead and apply. And I got her on. And it's called a provider. So you're not a CNA, so you're definitely not going to have to worry about baths and certain little skills that CNAs would do. You're basically there to help them cook and light cleaning, light. You're not up there waxing floors. You're not doing it. And if anybody asks you to do a lot of stuff, you can say no. And if there's attitude, you go to your person and say, this is not a good fit for me, period. So you don't need a CNA license. You can be whatever skills that you have now, customer service, you can be a provider, and they're always hiring. Always. I don't know a home health agency that don't need providers. You always need providers. I was a fill-in provider. I wasn't even a full-time, give me my patient. If your provider didn't show up, or if you just happen to not have one, you didn't get along with your last one, I was always coming in doing that. I was like a replacement. But then I also had I ended up applying. This another thing, another little nugget with being a provider. I was able to apply for as many agencies as I wanted to. So I applied for 4. So I had patients coming out the hoo ha. I was working, staying busy. And they have it where if you're a CNA, usually you can apply to be a replacement. If you don't want a full-time patient or client, you can apply to be like a replacement. So that's just if they don't have anybody to find for that person, or if their provider don't want to come to work no more, or if the provider, their main provider, is on vacation, you will come in and do that. And it's a very busy position too. I didn't think it would be that busy. I'm like, who don't come to work? Like, you're just coming for 3 hours. You're just coming for 2. You're just coming for 1. You know. And I've had some easy patients. I've had patients, I had an 8-hour shift, and it was a sitting. It was a sit. They're paraplegic. I'm sitting there watching TV. They got a feeding tube. I'm just there to be there with them. 8 hours. That was the easiest job I've done. And you can work overnight. You can find a patient that you have to sit with overnight. I've done that. Easy. They sleep. I'm asleep. Not fully sleep, but they have family that the people I was with at that time, they're like, if you need to take a nap, take a nap. We're all here. We will know if we need you. If something happens, we'll holler. But that's the provider side. So I just wanted to cover that you don't have to be a CNA to be a provider. Now, you have to be a CNA if you want to do baths and maybe toileting. Well, as a provider, you can help with toileting too, but certain things like helping with rashes and things like that, I think you have to be a CNA. But if you don't want to do all the extra skills, you're just there to make money. So you're cleaning, you're cooking, you're caring for the person, you're being a companion. Some people don't want you to do anything. They just want you to sit in their face and talk and laugh and be family to them. Okay. So that's number 1. The other side of home health, if you do become a CNA, y'all, is certified nurse assistant. Okay. Or if you become a home health aide, those are certifications. If you do that, there's another side of home health. It's called skilled. So let's say you don't want to do cooking and cleaning. Let's say, because I got to a point where I didn't want to do that no more. You can just literally go in people's homes, give them baths. That's it. And a lot of times I had patients that did their own baths. I probably was there for about 10 minutes. They're like, I'm already ready. I'm sitting in the bathroom waiting. No, just come on in. You come in there, sit outside. Go ahead and sit on the couch and I'll call you if I need you. I've had a lot of patients that did that. It was very seldom that I did like a full hands-on bath, but their position paid higher. Now, I was able to work with a lot of agencies doing that. I used to see about 12, 13 patients a day. And I was making, when I first started out, I was making $21 per patient plus miles. And I was working for several agencies, but I only could do 13 because you're traveling so much. So these home health jobs do cause a little wear and tear on your car. FYI, just throwing that out there. So you can do that where you just going to people's house, giving them baths. You may have to do light stuff like maybe change their bed sheets. That's it. Not light stuff like cooking, cleaning, vacuuming. All you're doing is a bath. That's it. And you're out. I would be in these people's house 15 minutes. Sometimes I had difficult patients. I had one that it took me 2 hours to bathe her only because I had to use a Hoyer lift. Hoyer lift is like a machine that you crank the patient out the bed. They're paralyzed. You crank them out the bed, put them in the air, you swing them. I used to have to put her in a power chair so she can power her way to the restroom. Then I have to crank her out it was a lot. They expected a lot. Their bath shouldn't have took 2 hours, but I got paid for those 2 hours. It was a $50 patient for me. Plus I got paid mileage to go see her. So I think I was getting paid like $70 just to go see her. And I had other patients on top of this. So I was making money on top of money. Even one time I had a patient that the agency, they didn't accept her type of insurance, but her insurance, she had like workers' comp. She worked on the port and lost like 2 of her fingers. And she worked like on a ship. She's from Puerto Rico. And her workers' comp, her company wanted to pay the agency for me to go out to help her bathe so that she don't get this surgery messed up. And she was weak. And my agency couldn't accept it. So they were like, your company can pay Brittany, me, direct, to give her a bath, they paid me $50 every day to go bathe her. And I bathe her 7 days a week. 7 times 50, $350 only on one patient. And it took me, like, this lady was young. She was young. She had to be like 30, like 32, 33. She was young, but she couldn't get this thing wet and she needed help to wrap it, to get in there. She was very weak. She had an injury, or a work injury. So $50 a day. And it took me like 10 minutes, 10, and I was out. And this lady was so nice. She used to buy me food. She was at a hotel. I used to bathe her in a hotel. You know how clean that is? It was clean, and it was not a nice hotel. Her job took care of her. And so I was making $350 off of one patient. $350 times that whole month. What is that? Three. I have to do my math, y'all. About 12. I'm gonna say 12 to 1,400 a month, only on one patient. So home health is a good avenue, especially if you're older and you're like, I don't want to go to school for nursing because it's too much. Like, I don't want to do school again. Just get a little CNA. Get a little CNA license. If now, nursing homes are stressful. If you have the person, you have to look it up on YouTube. They have a lot of CNAs that work in the nursing home, so that you know what you would deal with. Because I couldn't do a nursing home. I couldn't. I worked in a hospital, and it was a little drama. But home health, you get to work by yourself. So it's great for introverts. And you're just dealing with patients. And these patients most of them are sweet. And if you get one that's not sweet, you say, okay, this is not going to work. Sorry. Even with the baths, I was able to choose my patients. I refused a patient because this lady was just over the top. And I said, oh, okay, I see what your personality is. It's not going to mesh well with mine. I'm going to get out. And they'll find somebody else to bathe, or they'll get a nurse to come in and take care of her. So you don't have to deal with, like, you get to pick and choose the people that you deal with. So it's great for introverts. It's great for introverts. It's great for people who don't like confrontation. You ain't even got to tell the patient. You can just be like, okay, when this shift is over, you really don't have to wait till the shift over. You can call the company if it's too much for you. But if you're like me, I'll complete the shift. I'll complete it with your attitude and everything. But when I complete the shift, this is going to be your last time seeing me. Period. Okay. So let's go on to the next. So in the midst of doing that, by 2018, I was still doing a lot of home health. I was still making good money with them. I had a lot of agencies. Y'all had probably worked for like 5 agencies at one time, because sometimes the patients, now on the provider side stays pretty scaled. I mean, pretty stable. But the skill side, where you're going in and doing the baths, it can be up and down with those agencies. Some of the agents will have a good year, and you're just seeing patients just crazy. And then some of them be like, oh, I only can give you 2 patients. So I would work for like 5 agencies, and every day I had 10 to 12 to 13 patients daily. Sometimes I would have so many patients I would have to work on Saturday and Sunday. Don't have to work on Saturday and Sunday. And when you get those patients, you pick the day, you pick the time. And if something happened, if you got something with your child, you can say, hey, I can't work today. You're telling your patients this. Your agency don't care. It's so what they would do, they would give you a patient, and the patients would have between 1 to 3 baths a month. I've never seen a patient get more than that, except for the one where the company was paying me. It is only because her company was paying me. But they would get 1 to 3 baths a week. And so I would pick the day that I want to come. They don't pick that. You pick that. Now you can talk to them about it. Of course, you want to talk to them about it and see what's available for them, and you work it out and you pick the time. They may be like, you gotta come in the morning because I don't like morning baths. I got patients in the morning. Whether you got patients or not, I hate to say that. Whether you got patients or not, I got patients in the morning. I can't come at that time. It was a period of my life I couldn't get up in the morning early enough for nothing. So I wouldn't start my day until like 10, 11. This is in my earlier 20s. I'm a little bit older now, a little bit wiser, trying to be more, I'm still not that disciplined. I'm still waking up a little late. But so yeah, you get to pick the time, and you're not going to get in trouble if you start your day late. You're not going to get in trouble if you can't work, if your car is down. You just move the patient. If you can't move the patient, you let your agency know. They're not going to trip. They're going to be like, okay, we'll put her on for next week. This is one visit missed. So that's your 2 jobs that are flexible. I took 15 minutes. Okay, let me get to the next one. So by 2018, I learned about food delivery. I thought about starting my own food delivery company a long time ago. That's when I was doing provider work, and sometimes you have to go to the grocery store for the patients and stuff like that. And I said, man, I ought to start something like that, not knowing that Uber Eats was already rolling out with that. A lot of companies. So the first company I ended up working for was Waiter. And I think they're Texas based, so a lot of people don't know about it. But food deliveries, that's a third option. Food deliveries, y'all, I ended up becoming a full-time food delivery person. Full time. Once I stopped doing, I had got burnt out doing home health. Not in 2018, probably when it got close to the pandemic. I ended up totally stopping home health. I didn't do no more in 2020. I stopped in like March, right before lockdown happened. And I was doing food delivery full time. When I did food delivery full time, and it could have just been because of the time period I was in with the C word pandemic. With that, uh, I was making like between 250 to 300 daily, and I was working 7 days a week, and I was in love with it. So that's a third option. A third option is food deliveries, y'all. Y'all can make money doing that. A fourth option, I was doing mystery shopping. So mystery shopping, the company I worked for, I can say now because I don't work for them no more. But it was in Teleshop, and I used to do Jack in the Box mystery shop, and they used to pay between 20 and 25 per shop. And you only can do one shop per day, but I had a lot of Jack in the Boxes around me. Plus, I was already out and about doing food delivery. So I would do, which is crazy because you do have to use your own money, but I had money set aside and you get it back. So they would pay you $20 to $25 per restaurant, and they'll reimburse you for spending your money there. And I would do like, I probably would do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I would do between 5 and 8 Jack in the Boxes every day. I mean, five to eight Jack in the Boxes on those 3 days. I only did them a few days out the week because it's a lot. You have to fill out like little forms, which isn't that, it's not that hard really, But I used to hit them Jack in the Boxes up. They had other options like churches and stuff, but I like Jack in the Box. And I didn't like their food that much, but it was just an easier hit and do it. Take the little picture of the menu and go about your business. I did Sonic too. So mystery shops are good to do on the side if you don't want to have a regular job. And I did that on the side. I was making money. If you do 4 mystery shops in one day, that's $100. If you're making $20 or $25 per shop, that was extra money. I'm just telling y'all the things I did because when I said I didn't want no job, I should have started YouTube a long time ago. I didn't want no job. And I actually did start a YouTube channel, but I forgot how to log in. It's so many years ago. I actually did a YouTube channel while doing these gigs, and I forgot the login. I don't even have that same phone no more, so I never could log back into that. I tried. If y'all know the secret to that, let me know. I'm gonna try to contact YouTube and just see if they'll let me do it, but I can't remember the email address because it was so long ago. A lot of stuff happened at the time that I did. I had lost my mom. I lost my 2 dogs within the same year. I lost my home. Just a lot of stuff had happened. And so my mind was just, everything was a blur that year. And I don't remember how to log into that YouTube, which is why I have to create a brand new channel. And I had hundreds of views, but it's cool. So yeah. So we got food deliveries, mystery shop. The fifth thing that I found that you don't have to work. This is my experience. This is not just random stuff that I'm just picking off my head. This is actually things that I've done. I worked for a company called Live Ops, which there are a lot of companies. This is a call center. So you get to pick your schedule. You're working like maybe in 30-minute, not maybe, you're working in 30-minute increments. But there are a lot of companies. So if you were not to get on with Live Ops, there are a lot of other companies. Live Ops accept everybody. I haven't referred anybody yet that didn't get accepted. So I worked for Live Ops. I was working for a shoe company on there. I'm still on their contract, so I can't disclose what shoe company, but it's a very popular shoe company. A lot of y'all wear the shoes. But it was, people would just call in for like refunds, exchanges, simple things, simple, simple, simple. And it was rare that I had like rude customers on the phone, but when I did, I mostly dealt with the managers and passed it along to them. Doing Live Ops, I was getting paid I started off with $18.25. I got promoted to become like a manager where I was making like $23, $24 an hour, when you clock in. And they had a lot of hours. You could literally work all day, all day. I worked for that company, and I also worked for, I don't know if I should say the names. I don't know if I should say the names because I'm still on their contract and I don't want to do any contract violations. I work for like a lotion and perfume. It's a very popular company. A lot of y'all have them in y'all mall. A lotion and perfume company, body sprays company. And it's the same thing. You're doing exchanges and stuff like that. But they have other companies if you're interested in IT tech, if you want to work with patient healthcare, taxes. It's a lot of different companies. So I would suggest that you do like a call center. They have a lot of different companies besides LiveVibes. I can't think of the name. I think there's Next Rep, Conjoint. Uh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Y'all gotta look it up. It's a lot. But those call center jobs, yeah. When I tell you I didn't want no job, I didn't want no job. And so in the quarantine, uh, I was learning about travel nursing. Now I'm not a nurse, so but I still got my CNA license. So I had stopped doing CNA work to do all these different freelancing type gigs or whatever. And so I had I found out that CNAs could travel. That's another thing. It's still a thing, y'all. If you want to become a CNA and you ain't trying to go back to school for nursing, I'm not discouraging nobody. Go back to school and get your nursing, do your thing. But if you're older and you're like, I don't have time, I don't want to do it, my mind is not even there, I'm cool with the high school diploma. Get your CNA. You can travel. But the only thing is when you travel as a CNA, more than likely you will be working in a nursing home. But there are some CNAs that I've seen online that have said that they have worked in hospitals. Hospital is a little bit better than a nursing home because you're not having to transfer patients as much. And in a hospital, you get more help to me. You get more help. So at the time, I didn't do travel nursing. I'm just throwing this out there. There's also agency CNA where you could just pick up shifts within your city. So your city may have a lot of shifts where they need CNAs. You go on this app. It's like food delivery apps. You go in there and they pay you more. These little shifts, they be paying like $30 an hour. CNA work. I've seen from 18 to $20 an hour. See, because I've signed on with these apps, but just to see it. But once I find out about I'm like, I don't want to work in a nursing home. I had got my experience in a hospital and I was done after that. So the next thing I did, y'all, was I renewed my CNA because I had to, I had it, but it got expired because I wasn't doing it anymore. I had found all these other great things I was doing. So I was like, okay. And when they were traveling doing the CVID, when they were traveling, these CNAs were making like $15K per month. I think it was like 3,000 a week, 4,000 a week. Like they were making money like nurses. And it's something that people were not talking that much about. You would hear about the nurses making like 50K for the month, 30, but them CNAs was making, it was under their neck, 15, 10,000 a month. You can't make that just regular. And so you still have travel CNAs right now. I don't think they're making as much as they did during that time, but they're making like 2K per month. That's 8,000 a month for what I've seen. And then you have some have low contracts. It's like 1,000 a week, which is still cool. That's 4,000 a month. And you may not even have to travel that far. You might have to just travel like 2 hours outside your city, 3 hours outside your city and come back. There was an option I was trying to give y'all. I'm just giving y'all a little backstory on why I had got back into CNA work. So I wanted to get some experience so that I could travel, to make that money on. So when I got my CNA, I ended up getting a shift at the hospital, which is referred to as PRN or per diem. If you get your CNA, you can work as a PRN or per diem CNA in the hospital. That is basically making your own schedule. They may say, we only need you to work 2 days every 6 weeks. You're just picking up shifts. You can work day shift, usually night shifts, they pay a little bit more, but you're working per diem and you're making your own schedule.